Welcome back, Geordies. What a week. After a 2-0 win in the Carabao Cup, getting a home draw, a favourable one at that, against Fulham, and heading into the weekend with the best run of form we've had all season to face West Ham at the London Stadium. Let's get into it. So we'll start off with a 2-0 victory at St James's Park. A fantastic result against Tottenham. Going into this game, I was really hoping we'd carry some form following the weekend. And I have to say, I was really pleased to see the rotation. I was really pleased to see Jacob Ramsey. I wasn't expecting, I thought Lewis Miley would come in rather than Joe Willock. But I was really pleased to see that midfield changed up and Bruno and Joel Linton given a rest. I don't feel Joel Linton's really hit his form yet. And when he came on, you could see that bite to get back in the team. But to start with, going through the lineup, Aaron Ramsdale, fantastic performance. I was really pleased with him. His distribution looks night and day from Nick Pope. I think it's something that in the long term will offer us a completely different avenue and a completely different way to play football. Most of all, I've always felt like Aaron Ramsdale isn't quite as good a shot stopper as Nick Pope. But I have to say, it's a couple of great saves in there and he looks tip-top. He looks chomping at the bit to come in and take that number one spot. So I think it's a really, really nice thing to see is two England international goalkeepers fighting it out for that number one jersey. I fully expect Nick Pope to come back in at the weekend, but I thought it was a great performance from Aaron Ramsdale. Going through the back line, again, it was nice to see Trippier get a rest. We're a little bit short on numbers with Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento still coming back to full fitness. And Sven Botman, obviously, with the stapled head injury. But I have to say, Fabian Schär and Malik Chow, really good in at centre-back. Fab's doing his usual on Richarlison. As we know, I don't think there's any love lost between them two. But Malik Chow, again, I saw Malik Chow got the Seller Player of the Month for October. I think this guy is great. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And some key challenges in there. Moving on to Dan Burn. Really well at left back. As we normally expect. Really solid performance. And I thought Emil Kraft coming in at right back did really well. The midfield three. Really happy with the midfield three. Jacob Ramsey. Joe Willock. And Sandro Tonali. Now Sandro looked absolutely back to top form. Love Sandro, midfield maestro, quality player. But for the first time, Joe Willock looked like he was coming back into what we've seen from him in the past. And I really hope for Joe Willock that it continues. Because I do feel like if it doesn't work out in the next kind of 3-4 months, that he might be a want away in January. Because he's not going to get the game time that other players will get. I feel like Jacob Ramsey is the upgrade on Joe Willock. So we'll wait and see. Watch this space. Again, Harvey Barnes and Alanga. Now, I thought these guys, more so Harvey Barnes, I thought he did okay. He created some good moments. He fed well off of Voltemada dropping deep. Alanga, a better performance, I have to say. I didn't feel it was probably his best, but I do feel that he's working towards or starting to be more creative. And overall, it was a game of moments. And I felt like Tottenham had chances. They had a lot of chances, half chances. And really what let them down was Richarlison. Not in the right position, not reading the game well enough, being controlled by our defence. I didn't feel they had that form or that killer instinct the consistency, and I think that's what won us the game. I don't think we were clearly the better team, but I don't think we were at our best. And there's big controversy around Jed Spence doing his shoelaces up for the corner. Now, if you watch this back, you will see the referee wave his arm for Sandro to take the corner. The minute that referee waves his arm, it's fair game. He's given the nod to continue play. Jed Spence is not doing that bootlace up quickly. He's standing 10 feet away, making it difficult if we wanted to play the low ball in. And that floated cross was just perfect for Fabian Schär to come in there and steal a goal. And I thought, for Fabi being out the last few games and struggling to get back in, obviously, with Malik Chow and Sven Botman playing so well, what a great position for him. What a great finish from him. What a great player. Yeah, I thought he had a great game all round. And then later on, the ball in, Joe Willock, great assist. Nick Voltemada in the right place. I think Danzo couldn't deal with Voltemada. Kinski was a bit of poor judgment, bit of luck for us. But overall, I think we were worthy. I think we deserved the 2-0 victory. I think overall we can look at that and take promise from it going into the next few games. And these are winnable games. Now, I thought it was good with Eddie bringing on in the latter stages, bringing on a bit more strength, shoring up the squad or the first team with the squad players and seeing out the victory. And I thought overall we were worth the victory. So, ending on that, following into the cup draw. Now, I looked at those teams and all I was thinking is, please don't give us City and don't give us Arsenal. I'd take Chelsea at the moment. I think Chelsea can be got at the moment. We don't have a great record against City. And I was really hoping if we got City, it'd be a home tie. And at the moment, the way Arsenal are playing, I'm hoping we can get a few more minutes into their legs and get some tired legs when we come to play somebody in the cup. But favourably, we got a home tie again, which was exactly what we wanted. Eddie said it after the game. We're just hoping on a home tie. I think it gives us a really strong chance going into the next round of the cup. And we face Fulham again. Now, we didn't have the greatest performance against Fulham, but we managed to come away with a win. And I feel like there will be a little bit more hunger, inspiration and desire from those Newcastle players when it comes to playing in the Carabao Cup, especially as being the holders. I'm hoping this will be enough with the crowd and being in a home tie to see us through this one. So I think overall we should be looking at semi-finals. Now, to make it back to the semi-final of a cup we're holders in, absolutely fantastic. I think that'd be a great achievement. And if we can take it one step further and make it to the final again, 3 times in 4 years, it's got to be hats off to Eddie Howe. It has to be. But looking forward to the weekend, West Ham at the London Stadium. Now, they've lost their last 3 games on the bounce. Not by high margins. So I think it was a 2-0, a 2-1 and a 2-0. But I think they are there for the taking. I think their form is bad. I think the team looks a little disjointed. Obviously, Nuno's not been in long. He's trying to bring his own style to it. And I think eventually, at some point in the year, they will turn a corner with Nuno. I don't think Nuno's a bad coach. I just think their team is slightly lacking in depth. Now, the one thing I don't want to see is one of my favourite pastime players, Callum Wilson, a great servant to Newcastle, come back to haunt us in this game. Because we do have a history of players coming back to haunt us. But we need to carry this momentum. We need to carry this, the bond from the players, this look of having a bit more fluidity going forward and looking exciting on the counter-attack and controlling possession, especially away from home. We can't go a whole season without getting points on the road. So I'm really hoping that we'll carry that form into this weekend and be able to take a victory at the London Stadium. I'm hoping we'll see the mainstays rotated back in for this game. We'll see a Bruno, a Joel Linton and a Tonali in midfield. And I'm hoping with Bruno in there that we will have the creative freedom we had earlier in the season where Joel Linton and Tonali can really kind of fend off that midfield. My only hope is that we start to use Tonali more as a DM and kind of get Tonali to sit rather than moving out of that position and then having this middle three that goes up and down and we get caught with people coming in behind into that 10 space. But what I would say is, as a whole, we look like the press is back. Nick Voltemade going forward, Joe Willock and Ramsey pressing up. I think the fresh legs and the energy in this cup game just showed that Nick Voltemade is able to do that press just the way that Alex Isak did the press. He may come deeper to receive the ball and he's more versatile to be able to play players in behind. But we are able to give that high press. We are learning to go back to what we did last season and it causes teams problems. So I'm hoping, if I get my prediction right, I would like to see a 3-0. I think we're worthy of a 3-0 against this West Ham team. I think defensively we've looked solid. And I think we can carry a clean sheet away from the London Stadium. So hopefully, Geordies, if my prediction is correct, fingers crossed, we will see Newcastle slowly move up the table in the next couple of weeks. And with certain teams looking like they're falling out of form, the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Villa a little bit on the up at the moment, we might be able to come up that table and start to secure some sort of position going into the months where I feel like when we get Wissa back, we can really kick on. And I think kind of by December, mid-November or December, we should be playing our finest football. So, fingers crossed. If you've liked the content, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate people getting involved in the chat. I've seen a lot of things from all sides of the debate when it comes to my Arnie Slot video. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out because the debate's still going on. I've really enjoyed it. Points of view from certain Liverpool fans that completely surprised me with problems at the club that I hadn't even noticed. But fan debate is what I'd want. Fan debate is what we all enjoy. Be sure to get involved. Even if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And hopefully, guys, I will see you in the next one.